The morning on Star Station Orinth started like any other day. Hundreds of workers moved through the halls. Machines hummed loudly, and the smell of food drifted from the big kitchen area. In the middle of all this noise, a human engineer named Jace Rowan walked slowly toward the staff cafeteria. His shift had been long, his hands were still dirty with engine oil, and he only wanted a warm meal before heading home. Jace visited the same kitchen every day, and he always saw the same workers. But there was one person he noticed more than others, Lyra, the alien cook. She was quiet, gentle, and always working fast with her glowing purple hands. Her skin was pale violet, her eyes soft and shy, and she never caused trouble. Most people ignored her. She was too silent, too small, too different, but Jace noticed everything today. When he entered the cafeteria, he saw Lyra standing alone near the counter. She was chopping vegetables, but something was wrong with her movements. Her hands shook. Her shoulders were tense. Her eyes kept looking around, like she was afraid someone was watching her. Jace walked closer. When she turned to hand him a plate, her sleeve slipped for half a second. That was enough. A dark bruise big and ugly covered her wrist. Jace froze. His stomach tightened, and he felt his heart beat faster. "Lyra, what happened to your arm?" he asked softly. She panicked instantly. Her eyes widened, and she pulled her sleeve down fast. "It's nothing," she whispered. "Please, don't ask." Her voice trembled. Her hands trembled. Even her breath was uneven. Jace looked around. Other workers were nearby: dishwashers, cleaners, servers. They all saw her bruise. They all pretended not to see. No one asked. No one cared. No one wanted trouble, but Jace was not like them. "Lyra," he said again, "someone hurt you." She shook her head quickly. No, please don't say anything. Just take your food." Then she turned away before he could say more. She moved to another counter, avoiding him completely. Her steps were small, almost scared. Jace watched her carefully and noticed something else. Every time another worker passed her, they looked down, looked away, or stepped back, as if they didn't want to get close to her. Something was definitely wrong. Jace sat down at a table but couldn't eat. His eyes kept following her. Lyra dropped a pan because her arm hurt when she lifted it. She winced, bit her lip, and quickly picked it up again. She tried to hide her pain, but the bruise on her wrist was only one of many. Jace was sure of it, and still, not a single soul helped her. After a few minutes, an old alien dishwasher named Corin passed by Jace's table. Jace grabbed his sleeve gently. "Corin," he whispered. "What happened to Lyra? Who hurt her?" Corin froze. His eyes shifted nervously left and right, making sure no one heard. His voice was very low when he finally spoke. "Human. Stay away from her," he said. "You don't know what you are asking. She is not safe to help." "What does that mean?" Jace frowned. Corin swallowed hard. "It means helping her will destroy your life." Before Jace could ask more, Corin pulled his arm away and hurried back to the kitchen sink. His hands were shaking too. Jace sat back, stunned. That warning made no sense. Why would helping a bruised cook ruin his life? What danger could Lyra possibly bring? He looked at her again and felt anger stir inside him. She was working with her hurt arm, chopping vegetables slowly. She tried to hide the pain, but Jace could see it in every movement. He could not ignore it anymore. That evening, when the kitchen closed and Lyra stepped outside to walk home, Jace followed her quietly. He didn't want to scare her, but he needed answers. Lyra walked down a dark hallway toward the back exit of the station. Her head stayed low, and she held her injured wrist with her other hand. Suddenly, a tall shadow stepped in front of her. Lyra froze. Her whole body stiffened. Jace stopped too, hidden behind a storage crate. His heart pounded as he watched the stranger block her path. The voice that spoke was cold and sharp. "Did you tell anyone?" Lyra shook her head fast. No. "I didn't, I swear." "Good," the shadow said. "Because next time, it won't be just your arm." Lyra flinched. Jace clenched his fists. Now he knew. Someone was hurting her. Someone powerful. And Lyra was terrified to speak. Jace stepped forward slowly, his eyes burning with anger. He had ignored the warning. He had ignored the fear. He had ignored the danger, because he knew one thing now. He could not walk away from this. Not anymore. Jace stood frozen for a moment, listening to Lyra whisper her frightened promise to the shadowy figure. Every word cut deeper into him. Her voice was too small, too scared, too broken. He could not simply walk away, not after seeing how terrified she was. The tall alien who had threatened her turned and walked down another hallway, disappearing into the darkness of the service tunnels. Lyra stayed standing in the same place, shaking. Her arms wrapped around herself like she was trying to hold her body together. Jace, he slowly stepped out from behind the crate. "Lyra," he said softly. She gasped, stepping backward when she saw him. "Jace, why are you here? You shouldn't be. You're not supposed to follow me." Her fear was real. She wasn't scared for herself, she was scared for him. Jace raised both hands gently. "I'm not here to hurt you. I'm just worried. Someone is hurting you, and I can't pretend I didn't see." "No," she whispered harshly. "You must pretend. You must act like nothing happened. Please, Jace. If you interfere, if you help, they will destroy you." He shook his head. "Who are they?" But she turned away, her eyes filling with tears she didn't want him to see. "I cannot say. If I speak, I die. If you ask again, you die." Jace felt the chill run through him. Whatever she was mixed in wasn't small. It wasn't a simple bully or a cruel boss. It was something darker, bigger, dangerous. Before he could ask more, Lyra stepped back again. "Please leave me alone. Forget about me." And then she ran quickly down the corridor, disappearing into the maze of hallways before Jace could stop her. The next day, Jace returned to the cafeteria early. Lyra was already working, but something was different. She didn't lift her head, didn't look at customers, and didn't speak even a single word. Her sleeves were pulled down tighter than before, but Jace saw something new, a bruise on the side of her neck, half hidden under her hair. He clenched his jaw. Someone had attacked her again. When Lyra reached to place plates on the table, her hands shook so badly that she nearly dropped them. Other workers glanced at her but quickly looked away again. Their eyes showed fear, not sympathy. They all knew something, but no one dared to speak. Jace watched them carefully. After a few minutes, he walked toward an old alien dishwasher, Corin, the one who warned him yesterday. "Corin," Jace said quietly, "I know you told me to stay away, but I need to understand what's happening. Lyra is in danger." Corin didn't look at him. He scrubbed plates faster, pretending not to hear. "Corin." The old alien finally whispered, "Human, I already warned you. Do not involve yourself. Tell me who hurt her." Corin's hands froze. "No one will speak," he said. "If we talk, we disappear. If we help her, we disappear. Lyra is owned. That is all you must know." "Owned by who?" Jace asked. Corin shook his head violently. No, stop asking. You don't understand. Humans don't know the rules of this station. You think kindness can fix things. But on this station, kindness gets people executed." Jace felt his chest tighten. "Corin, she is suffering. She's hurt." Corin lowered his voice even more. "We all suffer. But she is marked. Marked by a group no one crosses. Please, Jace, for your own life, stay away." Jace stared at him. If no one stands up for her, she will die. Corin looked at Jace with sad, tired eyes. Maybe, but better she dies than the whole kitchen with her. Those words hit Jace hard. The whole kitchen feared her situation, not because Lyra was dangerous, but because the people hurting her were dead. Later that evening, Jace made a decision. He couldn't just watch her break. He waited outside the kitchen until Lyra finished her shift. When she stepped out, walking slowly, he followed again, but this time more carefully. She didn't go home directly. Instead, she walked into an old storage room deep inside the station. The door had no lock, and she slipped inside like someone who had done this routine many times. Jace hesitated before pushing the door slightly open. Inside, Lyra was sitting on the floor, hugging her knees. Her hands were trembling. She lifted her sleeve, revealing bruises that were black, purple, and blue. Some were fresh. Some were old. Some were shaped like fingers. Jace's whole body froze in shock. She didn't see him at first. She just stared at the ground and whispered to herself, "Please, don't hurt me again, please." Jace stepped inside slowly. "Lyra," he whispered. She jumped and turned sharply, eyes wide in panic. "Why do you follow me?" She cried softly. "Why can't you just ignore me like everyone else?" Jace knelt down near her, keeping distance so she didn't feel threatened. "Because," he said, voice steady, "I'm the only one who refuses to pretend you're invisible." Her lips trembled. She closed her eyes as tears finally fell. "No one can save me," she whispered. "Not even you." Jace's voice became firm. "Then let me try." And in that moment, Lyra realized something she hadn't felt in a long time: hope. Jace stayed kneeling near Lyra, keeping his distance so she wouldn't feel trapped. Her tears were still falling silently, sliding down her pale cheeks. She tried to wipe them away quickly, as if even crying was something she wasn't allowed to do. "Lyra," Jace said softly, "I can't stand here and watch you get hurt." "I won't." She shook her head hard. "No, you don't understand. You think helping is simple. But on this station, helping me is like attacking a monster with a spoon. They will break you. They will break anyone who stands with me." Jace's voice was calm but firm. "Lyra, I don't care what threat they are. No one deserves to be treated like this." She pressed her lips together, her shoulders shaking. "You will regret this. Please, please leave me alone." But Jace didn't move. "Not happening." Her eyes widened, full of fear and something else. Something like disbelief. As if she had never heard anyone say those words for her before. Suddenly, footsteps sounded in the hallway outside. Lyra gasped. She stood up quickly and wiped her face, panic flashing in her eyes. "No, no, no. They can't find you here. If they see you with me." But the door burst open. A tall alien with dark armor stepped in. His eyes were sharp, and his voice was filled with cruel amusement. "Well, well," he said. "Look at this." The human hero trying to rescue the little cook. Lyra stepped in front of Jace instantly, like she wanted to protect him. "Please," she whispered. "He did nothing. Let him go." The armored alien smirked. "You think I care what you say? You belong to us. Anyone who touches our property answers to us." Jace stood up slowly. "She's not property." The armored alien laughed. "Oh, human. You've made a mistake. A big one." He moved forward, grabbing Lyra by the arm roughly. She winced in pain, biting her lip so she wouldn't cry out. That was it. Jace couldn't watch anymore. He stepped forward and grabbed the alien's wrist. Pulling it away from Lyra, "Let her go." For a moment, the alien froze surprised. A human had dared to touch him. Then he snarled and swung his fist. Jace blocked it with his forearm and pushed him back. The alien crashed into a stack of crates, knocking them over with a loud crash. Lyra gasped, horrified. "Jace, no. You don't know what you've just done." The alien warrior stood up, furious. "You will pay for that." He rushed forward, and a fight broke out in the small storage room. Jace wasn't a soldier, but he was strong, fast, and used to fixing heavy machines. He dodged the alien's punches, grabbed a metal rod from the floor, and blocked a strike aimed at his head, but the alien was stronger. His claws cut across Jace's arm, leaving a burning pain. Jace stumbled back, breathing hard. Lyra screamed softly, covering her mouth. Before the alien could attack again, the door flew open a second time. Station security entered. But instead of helping Jace, they raised their weapons at him. "Human! Drop the weapon!" Jace stared in disbelief. "What?" He attacked her. The armored alien pointed at Jace dramatically. "He assaulted me. He attacked guild personnel." Lyra shook her head wildly. "No, no. He's lying." But before she could finish, one guard pushed her back roughly. "You stay quiet. You belong to them. You have no right to speak." Jace's heartbeat thumped loudly. "Don't touch her." But 3 guards surrounded him. One grabbed his arm, twisting it behind his back. Another took the metal rod. Jace tried to fight, but there were too many of them. They slammed him against the wall, cuffed his wrists, and forced him to the ground as they dragged him toward the hallway. Lyra cried out, her voice shaking violently. "Jace! Please stop. Please don't help me anymore. They'll kill you." He looked back at her, breathing heavily. Blood on his arm but fire in his eyes. "I'm not leaving you," he whispered. The guards shoved him forward. The armored alien leaned close to Lyra and said, "See? This is what happens when anyone touches you. You bring destruction to everyone." Tears fell down her cheeks as she watched Jace disappear down the hallway. Surrounded by guards, she whispered helplessly, "I warned you. I warned you." But deep inside her chest, something warm flickered. Finally had stood for her. Someone saw her pain and didn't run. And even though she feared for him, part of her hoped he wouldn't give up. Not this time. Not like everyone else. Jace sat inside the holding cell, his wrist still cuffed, his arm bleeding from the earlier fight. The cold metal bench pressed against his back, but the real pain wasn't physical. It was the image of Lyra's terrified eyes as he was dragged away. Her fear, her helplessness, her broken whisper of, "They'll kill you." He couldn't stop replaying it. Outside the cell, 2 guards stood watch. They weren't talking, just staring ahead with stiff, nervous posture, like they expected trouble at any moment. Something about their behavior bothered Jace. They weren't relaxed. They weren't confident. They were afraid. Afraid of who? The door slid open, and an older, tired-looking guard stepped inside. His uniform was worn, and he carried himself like a man who had seen too much. He looked at Jace for several seconds before finally speaking. "You're the human who tried to help the cook, right?" Jace glared. "Her name is Lyra." The guard nodded slowly. "Lyra." "Yes. The kitchen workers talk about her sometimes, quietly, very quietly." Jace leaned forward. "Tell me who hurt her. Why is everyone so scared?" The guard let out a heavy breath and sat across from him. "Because, human. She belongs to the Guild of Chains." Jace frowned. "What is that?" The guard's eyes darkened. "A crime syndicate. One of the oldest in this sector. They control illegal labor, debt slavery, and protection rackets. They operate in the shadows, but everyone knows their symbol, a chain wrapped around a star." Jace remembered the armored alien's shoulder plate. The faint silver design that he thought was decoration. It was a chain wrapped around a star. His jaw tightened. The guard continued, voice low. "Lyra wasn't always a cook. She was taken from her home world during a famine. Her family owed the guild a debt created by the guild itself. When they couldn't pay, the guild took her." Jace's chest tightened. Why doesn't she fight back? Why doesn't she run? He asked. The guard looked at him with tired eyes. Because she can't. The guild implanted a tracking chip in her spine. If she leaves their assigned territory, the chip sends a shock strong enough to paralyze her. If she speaks against them, they punish someone else she cares about. And if someone tries to help her... He paused. What? Jace whispered. They make an example out of them. Jace felt a cold chill move through him. So everyone in the kitchen is scared? Terrified, the guard said. No one wants to disappear like the last worker who tried to defend her. Jace's heart dropped. Someone already tried? The guard nodded slowly. A young alien dishwasher named Telly. She confronted one of the guild members after seeing Lyra come to work bruised and bleeding. 2 days later, Telly vanished. No body. No investigation. Just gone. Jace clenched his fists until his knuckles turned white. That's why everyone avoids Lyra, the guard said. They're scared the guild will punish them just for being near her. That's why they told you to stay away. Jace whispered, but I can't stay away. She's suffering. The guard studied him for a long moment. Then he leaned in closer. Human. You need to listen. The guild doesn't operate like normal criminals. They have power in the station council. They bribe security. They threaten families. They own half the businesses on this station. Standing against them is suicide. Jace's voice was steady. I don't care. The guard closed his eyes as if expecting that answer. You humans. Always so stubborn. Jace took a deep breath. How do I help her? Tell me, the guard shook his head. You can't rescue her. You can't break her chip. And you can't fight the guild alone. Jace's voice grew harsher. Someone has to do something. The guard hesitated, then lowered his voice even more. There is one way, he whispered. But it's dangerous. I'm listening. The guild always stays safe because no one has proof. They operate in shadows. If someone gets real evidence, videos, reports, witness statements, they could expose the guild to the Galactic Council. That would bring consequences? Jace asked. Massive consequences, the guard said. The guild could lose its power. Their stations. Their influence. Their money. And if that happens, Lyra would be freed. Jace's eyes burned with new determination. So I need proof. You need more than that, the guard said. You need allies. People who are willing to risk everything to speak. Jace thought of the kitchen workers, their fearful glances. Their trembling hands. They won't help, he said quietly. Not now, the guard agreed. But if they see someone brave enough to stand, someone who refuses to fear the guild, maybe they will find their courage. Jace met the guard's eyes. Then I'll be that someone. The guard sighed. I hoped you wouldn't say that. Why? Jace asked. Because once you choose this path, the guard whispered, there is no going back. The guild will hunt you. They will threaten your life. They will attack anyone close to you. Jace stood slowly. I know. The guard unlocked his cuffs. You're free to go for now, he said quietly. But be careful. They're watching you. Jace walked out of the holding cell with one thought burning in his mind. He would not let Lyra live another day in chains. He would expose the truth. He would fight the guild, even if it cost him everything. Jace didn't return home that night. He walked through the long metal corridors of Star Station Orinth with a new fire burning inside him. Every step felt heavier, as if the shadows around him were watching, waiting. The guard's warning kept echoing in his mind. The guild will hunt you. But Jace didn't slow down. He headed straight to the engineering bay where he stored his tools and equipment. The bay was quiet, dark, filled with the soft hum of machines repairing themselves. Jace locked the door behind him and sat at his workstation. His arms still hurt, But he ignored it. He opened his datapad and started digging. He looked up every public record he could find on the Guild of Chains business registrations. Shipping logs, ownership papers, security reports. Most files were empty, fake, or corrupted. But Jace was an engineer. He understood hidden systems. He hacked deeper, going into restricted maintenance databases where the Guild probably thought no one would bother looking, and finally, he found something. A small folder labeled maintenance payments. Nothing special at first glance. But when Jace opened it, he found suspicious payments, huge amounts of credits sent every month, from the cafeteria management to a Guild-controlled account. Protection money. Jace whispered. They extort the cafeteria too. He copied the data to his device. His first piece of evidence. But he needed more. The next day, Jace entered the kitchen quietly. Lyra was at her station, working slowly. Her sleeves were long again. She kept her head down. Her movements were careful, like she expected to be hit at any moment. When she saw Jace walk in, she froze for a second, but not with fear. With shock and worry. Jace, why did they release you? She whispered. He gave her a small smile. Because I didn't break any law. Her eyes softened, but only for a moment. Then panic returned. You need to leave. They're watching. They think you're a threat. Jace leaned closer, speaking quietly so no one else would hear. I'm going to expose the Guild. I'm going to save you. I promise. Lyra's face went pale. No, don't do that. They will kill you, and then they will punish me for your death. He shook his head. They won't. I won't let them. But Lyra didn't believe him. She stepped back. Her voice cracked. You're only one man. The Guild is an empire. Empires fall, Jace whispered. And sometimes they fall because one person finally said enough. Lyra's breath shook. She didn't argue further. But Jace saw something in her eyes, a tiny spark of hope mixed with fear. Later that day, Jace approached the old dishwasher Corin. I need your help, Jace said. Corin's eyes widened with horror. No, don't speak to me. The Guild already suspects you. If they see me talking to you, I'll disappear. Jace didn't back away. Corin, I found evidence. You've seen what they do to Lyra. You've watched it for years. Don't you want it to stop? Corin's hands shook, but he whispered, Yes, I do. But I'm afraid. You don't have to be brave alone, Jace said. Stand with me. Corin looked at him deeply, then slowly nodded. What do you need? And so it began. Jace and Corin worked together in secret. Corin showed him hidden passages in the kitchen where Guild members often entered to threaten workers. He revealed the times when the Guild collected fees. He showed Jace the storage room where Lyra sometimes hid to bandage her bruises. Jace recorded everything: videos, audio, images, conversations. Every piece was evidence, but the Guild noticed something. They noticed the workers whispering more. They noticed cameras pointed in new directions. They noticed Lyra looking different, as if she was carrying a new secret too. And one night, they came. Jace was walking back to the engineering bay when the lights suddenly flickered. The hallway became dark except for a dim red glow. A voice echoed behind him, human. Jace turned slowly. 3 armored aliens from the Guild stood there, blocking the hallway. Their eyes glowed with cold hatred. You've been busy, the leader said. Digging in places you shouldn't, talking to people who should stay silent. Jace didn't run. I'm helping someone who deserves freedom. The leader stepped closer. The little cook is ours. She will always be ours. And you should have stayed out of it. Another alien cracked his knuckles. We warned you once. Jace's pulse raced, but he didn't step back. You can beat me, threaten me, kill me if you want. But I already sent the evidence out. The guild members froze. Jace continued, voice steady. People know. Someone will come. You can't hide anymore. The leader's calm expression shattered into rage. You fool! You think one human can challenge us? Jace met his eyes. No, but one human can start something. Before the guild could strike, alarms suddenly blared through the station. A message echoed through the speakers. Emergency council meeting. Criminal evidence received. All forces prepare. The leader's eyes widened, and Jace smiled. The war had begun. When the alarm sirens echoed across Star Station Orinth, the entire place fell into chaos. Doors locked. Lights flashed. Workers froze. Security teams rushed through the halls. And in the middle of all this noise stood Jace, bloody, exhausted, but smiling with quiet victory. The guild members surrounding him panicked. Their leader grabbed Jace by the collar. What did you do, human? Who did you send the evidence to? Jace met his furious eyes without fear. To everyone who matters. The leader threw him against the wall with a snarl. But before he could strike again, security squads turned the corner, this time with weapons pointed at the guild. Not at Jace. The guild members stiffened. This had never happened before. The head security officer shouted, Guild of Chains! You are ordered to stand down. The council demands your presence immediately. Jace watched as the guild members exchanged nervous looks. They were powerful, yes, feared, yes, but even they understood the gravity of a council intervention. Disobeying the station council wasn't a crime. It was suicide. Wordlessly, they backed away, retreating slowly with tense shoulders. The head officer approached Jace. Human, what have you done? Jace wiped blood from his cheek. I told the truth. The officer swallowed. You may have started a war. Jace nodded. Good. Hours later, the council chamber filled with representatives from dozens of planets on the station. The room's high ceiling and bright lights made it feel like the center of the galaxy. Enormous screens flickered on, displaying evidence. Jace had collected videos of threats, bruises, extortion payments, secret meetings, and Lyra, trembling in pain. Workers from the cafeteria were brought forward to testify. Many stood shaking, too scared to speak. The guild's lawyers glared at them like wolves. Then Lyra entered. Her steps were small, uncertain. She kept her head down, her long sleeves pulled tight. But when she saw Jace sitting in restraints at the side of the chamber, her eyes softened. She took a slow breath and stood before the council. A tall councilwoman spoke gently. Lyra, you may speak freely here. The guild cannot punish you. Lyra's voice was small. No, punishments always come later. The council fell silent. Jace's heart ached at the sound of her broken fear. The councilwoman nodded. Then speak anyway. We will protect you. Lyra's hands shook, but she lifted her head slowly. For the first time, the entire chamber saw the bruises she had tried for months. Her wrists, her neck, her arms, faint scars running down her spine. A gasp moved through the crowd. The guild leaders looked uncomfortable for the first time. Lyra spoke in trembling words. I was taken when I was 14. My family didn't owe a debt. The guild made one. They made us sign papers we couldn't read. They said if we refused, they would burn our village. The council members exchanged horrified looks. They sent me to this station, Lyra continued. Every week, they came for payments. Every time we were short. They hurt me. They told me if I ever ran away, it would shock my spine. If I told anyone, they would hurt someone else. She paused. Tears slid down her cheeks, and I believed them. Because they hurt my friend Telly. She tried to defend me. The next day, she was gone. The council chamber buzzed with whispers, anger, disbelief. Then Lyra looked at Jace. He was the only one who didn't look away. Everyone else pretended not to see. But he saw me. He fought for me. And now they want to punish him for caring about someone like me. Jace's chest tightened. He didn't expect her to defend him. Not after everything she suffered. The council president stood. Guild leaders, you are accused of violating galactic labor laws, illegal slavery, abuse, extortion, bribery, and the disappearance of multiple workers. How do you plead? The guild leaders smirked. You can't touch us. We have influence in every. But before he finished, new screens lit up. Dozens of other stations were reporting the same crimes. Victims were sending testimonies. Media networks were broadcasting Jace's evidence across the galaxy. The council chambers erupted. The president slammed her gavel. Effective immediately, the Guild of Chains is banned from all council space. All enslaved individuals are to be freed. Gasps filled the room. Lyra covered her mouth. Her knees shook. Jace felt tears rise in his eyes for the first time. The guild leader shouted with rage. You cannot erase us. We own this station. The council guards took a step forward, raising their weapons. No, the president said coldly. You own nothing now. After the ruling, chaos exploded outside. People cheered as guild members were dragged away in chains. Some cried. Some screamed. Some shouted Lyra's name with respect. But Jace didn't look at any of it. He looked only at her.